All right, working class hustlers of America and all across the globe. I'm your main chocolate stain, Horace, also known as La Machine, and I have the lovely Miss Karen with me today. This is What to Sell on Amazon, where we talk all things selling on Amazon using the arbitrage business model. And you may have noticed that the overarching question is Amazon still worth it in the year 2023? Now, with all things, there's the long answer and there's the short answer. So we're going to start out with the short answer first. The short answer is yes, if you do the work. Okay? If you do the work. So that's what we're going to start doing, and we're going to start doing it right now. So let's get right into it. As always, I want to show you guys exactly how I make money on Amazon. So I'm going to share my screen. And here's where I want you guys to follow along with me, okay? Because I sort of laid out the steps that it's gonna take to do this. And Karen, you can always interject, add things. If any hustlers are out there and you want to add some things, we're gonna acknowledge you in just a second. But the first thing I say is pick a software to do the heavy lifting for you. Okay, because it's a lot of work if you're going to do this by hand. Can you do it by hand? Absolutely. But that's going to be very tedious. Okay. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you can make a profit. Okay. We're in this to make money, self explanatory. You need to decide whether or not you want to merchant fulfill or FBA. A lot of times you hear a lot of experts talking strictly FBA. That's not the only way to make money, and that's not the only way that Karen and myself do it. Okay. And sometimes one may be better for you. It could be one you can make more money. It could be different things, but you've got to decide whether or not you want to merchant fulfill or go FBA. Then you want to determine if you can sell the product. For any newbies out there, you can't always just go sell whatever you want on the platform. You need to be approved, or as we like to say in the industry, ungated. And you don't need to do any more research necessarily if you're not going to be able to sell the product. I say necessarily because eventually you will get ungated for a lot of these products. So as you're searching, it's not all about being able to move forward with that particular SKU. Sometimes it's learning so that later on, when you are able to sell it, when there are units available, because sometimes it's a stock issue, you're ready. Okay. A lot of this is research. Check your restrictions. If it happens to be hazmat or something like that, check your IP complaints. There's a couple of ways to do it. You can use software, you can use clues that will give you an indication as to whether or not it's most likely going to be an IP complaint. And by IP, we're talking intellectual property. The problem with that for any newbies out there is you could be selling a product just fine, and then you get a tap on the shoulder and it's the owner and they say, get off my listing. And then you got a bunch of stock in some cases. So we want to avoid that. Then I would suggest you do some further analysis, i.e., check the product rank, check the product star rating if that's something you like to look at, check the number of sellers, including Amazon, because the number of sellers can give you some insight on some things, like how long it may take you to sell, how much competition. Some people don't want to get on listings where Amazon is on them, and if that's your situation, then yeah, you want to check that. You want to check among all of your sellers. Look at the ratio. How many FBAs versus merchant fulfilled? That can give you some different indicators. You may be the only merchant fulfilled out there, or vice versa. You may be the only FBA, and that could play a role. That could have an effect. Uh, at this point, if you're going to move forward, you need to decide how many you're going to purchase. Now, of course, that's going to be your decision. But if you're not familiar with the brand, with the category, we don't recommend that you go too deep. We probably wouldn't recommend you go deep, period. But as you get experience, you will start going deeper just because your confidence builds, you know what you're doing. And then you sort of wash, rinse, and repeat. If you really want to build a business that, that has some measure of predictability, you're going to really be looking for what we call replens or replenishables, those items that you can continue to buy and sell over and over. Okay, so with that out of the way, we're going to look at the first product that I picked for us to look at. Now, I use the software Tactical Arbitrage. Remember what I said, right? You're going to pick a software to do the heavy lifting. That is my software of choice. And there will be a link in the description if you want to try that for free. And we got plenty of classes, courses, and stuff like that that you can watch right on YouTube to teach you how to do that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I want to show you what I was looking at so that you can get an idea of how did I make the decision to even go with this product. Let me see if I can find that. This is what the search results look like in Tactical Arbitrage. Sometimes it can be a little slow. Let's see how long it takes for me to pull that up. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Remember, hustlers, you can move this stuff around and you can arrange the columns the way you want. But right away you can see I sourced, well, the result is coming from Target. And right away you can see things like sales rank, average 90-day sales rank, what you should be paying, adjusted price. That means the software it's accounting for some types of coupons or something, cash back, whatever. And then the buy box, this is where it should be. But guys, remember, things are very dynamic. Things are always changing. So this gives you an idea, but when you go and look, you may see something different. Okay. They're saying that a gross profit should be there of, right around $12. I kind of doubt that, but that's okay because we're going to talk about your business strategies. Estimated monthly sales 29, gross return on investment 166%. And if you notice, I have my columns arranged so that I have all of this in front of me without having to scroll over to the right. But since I did scroll over to the right, another thing that I can see right away is at the time of this search, there was only one seller. Now, I don't think that's correct. So let's jump in. So first of all, here's the product at Target. Okay. DeBrock's earwax removal kit. I could use that myself. I get a lot of earwax, but it's supposed to be it's supposed to be half of a fluid ounce. Da 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 da. Now remember, guys, this isn't going to take into account if you have sales tax. You might be using a software like RevROI that would show you whether or not there's some cash back, whether or not there's some gift cards that you could use, things like that. You want to take advantage of, especially once you've made the commitment and you know you're serious about this. All that stuff adds up. Now, we're looking at this. You got to compare it to this, right? The product on Amazon. Half an ounce, pictures match up. Now, right away, you're going to see Amazon on this listing and you're going to say, what the heck? Why would we want to pay $8.29 when Amazon's selling it for $7. Well, when I come down to my keeper chart, I'm seeing some action here. Wherever it's tan, that means Amazon's in stock. So they were in stock, they were out, in, out, in, out. In. Then they were out for a good bit, right? From like all of February, they were out. Then they came back in, out. So what you're seeing is a pattern that tells you Amazon is in stock and out of stock quite a bit. When they go out of stock, that price goes up. Look at how many sellers are on that 67. Now, that doesn't mean you're competing with all 67, right? You're competing out of the gate. You're competing with those that are using the same method as you are to get the product to the customer. So if we're assuming you're going to do FBA, then it's not quite as many. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a lot, but it's not 67. Okay. So, and that goes back to one of the steps that we talked about. So here's what I did from there. I looked at it and I said, hey, I think I can get in and get out. All right. So I put a price of $16 in there. That's probably where I'm gonna go if I were to go with that. Now, when you look at it through that lens, you're only profiting like $1.44, and that's not even including any tax that you're probably going to pay, and that's not including the cost to get it into the warehouse. So when we say make sure that you can make a profit, those are the things you got to consider. But also remember, we said decide whether or not to sell the item FBA. This is why it's a good idea to be equipped to go either way. This gives you flexibility. And I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So we click on this tab. And by the way, I'm using the Scout feature of Inventory Lab, which is my favorite listing software. And it also has this feature. Now, here's what I would say with this. It's not one of the best items. Some people might pass on this. However, when we go back and we look at that keeper chart, that's got a lot of action on it. Now, what you could do, you can come and hover over that statistic, and then you can look in the new column, that blue one, and you can see it has gone as high as $30. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to do that again. Another thing, I don't know if I had it in there. Did I have it in there to check your competition stock? Did I put that in there?
We didn't see it.
Oh, we need to add that. Another thing you want to do is look at how much stock your competition has. Now, this guy says he's got 112 units. Can we believe that? I don't know, because he's shipping them. So he could be telling us anything. This guy says he has 13. This guy has 1. This guy has 50. Now, this guy has 113, and we could probably trust that because Amazon is shipping that. So this might be a product that you might end up sitting on for a bit, but I would be confident you would eventually sell it. But that's your decision. Mostly what we're trying to do is teach you the most important part of this. If you're going to be successful at this, it's all about evaluating. You're going to make the
Horace,
decision.
Horace,
Yes.
one thing that captured my attention as you were looking at evaluating the competition
Mm.
is particularly with that seller who is a prime seller and has 113 or over 100 in the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Well, I don't know if you would have 100, over 100 in the warehouse if it wasn't, if the sales weren't pretty brisk,
You know
right?
what? That's an excellent point.
And
Now, another thing to look at, that's an excellent point. I'm glad you mentioned that. These are things that this is part of the evaluation, hustlers. It's a lot to think about. But another thing to look at is he's got 113 units. This seller only has 77 ratings. So I don't know. I don't know how much experience he has. Now you got to
could have a
figure
few years. Could have a few years.
he could, considering that only 1% of people even leave feedback ratings, if that. So,
And you have a
but
good number of other sellers that have pretty, or at least it's showing that they have a, pretty healthy number. And these
mhm.
numbers are just estimates. Where are the inventory estimates coming from? What software is giving you that? Because
The
Seller
software
Central
is
doesn't tell you.
it's a feature in Keeper.
In Keepa. So okay, you're
Yeah.
getting that out of Keepa. So it's not absolute certain,
No, it's not.
100%, but it gives you an indication.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Good point. Good point. Um, I'm gonna pull up. I want to see how many hustlers are with us right now. I haven't.
yeah.
I need to pull that screen. And while I do that, why don't you give us your short take on whether or not you think it's still a good thing to be doing Amazon in the year 2023?
Oh, I think it's great to do Amazon in 2023. I really do. I mean, I think that my perspective isn't, I don't have, as many years in as you do. I've only been in 3, 4 short years. But my sales have improved with each year. And I don't see that coming to an end. The Amazon truck is in my uh, cul-de-sac every single day, making several stops.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think it's a great time to be. And it may be different than it used to be, though. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to compare it to. But for me, it's a great time to enter. I feel like when I look at YouTube's, there's always someone saying, oh, it's not like it used to be. The competition is greater, this or that or the other. But my experience says Amazon is working very well for me. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. Hustlers, um, Karen and I are both six-figure sellers, and we've been doing this for years. So we're coming from that perspective. I will say to add to what you said, you know, for those, this is just the way I think. I love, and you guys will always hear me talk about having that degree of separation. I don't care what it is, but oftentimes what gives you the degree of separation, and first of all, why do we want a degree of separation? When you can get a degree of separation, that's going to give you more of an opportunity. Because when I speak about degrees of of separation, I'm talking about what is it when you and a competitor are looking at the same product. What makes the competitor say, I'm out of here? And you say, hey, this could be something. And while everybody else is chasing what's shiny, I'm quietly making regular, predictable, nice income. Okay. That's why I suggest you jump on products that give you a degree of separation. But now, at this moment, we're not talking about products, we're talking about platforms. I'm telling you that when you hear these gurus, because here we are, guys, in 2023. So a lot of us have been hearing about Amazon for quite some time, long enough that a lot of the crowd is saying, there's something new out here. Because you got to remember, most people want something for nothing. even though they know better. They would never tell their children, you get something for nothing. Okay. You know what they're going to tell their children and anyone else that's looking to them for advice, for love and guidance? They're going to tell them, son, daughter, niece, nephew, you're not going to get something in life for nothing. And when they done saying that, then they go looking, trying to find something for nothing. And there's your degree of separation. You're going to hear people saying, well, it's gotten tougher on Amazon. Maybe it has. Good. Because that's a degree of separation. Why? Because no one wants tough. Everybody wants easy. You got people that will spend their whole life accomplishing nothing because their whole life they've been looking for easy. You, the working class hustlers, roll your sleeves up. Do the work. Okay? Is it getting tougher? Oh, more products are being gated. Good. I'm telling you guys. See, I'm an old man, so I'm gonna shut my mouth in a minute. Because I remember back in 2003 when
no, please.
eBay was the big thing. See, everybody was on eBay, and then what happened? Well, there was a new kid on the block, and everybody ran to the new kid. There are people still quietly making money on eBay. Isn't that right, Miss Karen? and ain't nobody talking about it, is it? eBay is not the buzzword that it used to be, is it? But there's still money to be made. Quit running around chasing after everything that gurus and pundits and everybody else say. Quit letting other people dictate your narrative. We're right here. We're proof. But we ain't going to lie to you. We're not going to tell you this stuff about getting something for nothing. You're going to have to do the work. So put the thought in your mind. It's going to be work. Now, I'm going to shut my mouth because, I don't really like to talk anyway. I'm going to be quiet.
Oh my gosh. But you know what? You just reminded me something about the whole matter of different platforms. So if you've been selling on eBay for any amount of time, you know that you from time to time have returns or you have inventory that for whatever reason just isn't moving. And so many Amazon sellers, myself included, like to have some kind of secondary platform, at least one secondary platform. Some Amazon sellers have multiple platforms that they sell on. But when you were talking, it reminded me that before I was an Amazon seller, I was an eBay seller. I started on eBay, and I actually did use the money I earned from my eBay sales to fund my Amazon merchandise so that I wasn't going too deep into, my personal account, the family budget, in order to support me getting started with Amazon, because it does take a while for you to get enough in the pipeline at Amazon in order for it to start giving you regular returns. When I first started, I didn't have sales every week, every day, and then it built. But the point is, there's some creative ways to find funds to support the launch of your Amazon business.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's take a moment to recognize those that are out there with us right now. We've got 13 people with us. So thank you so much for spending your time with us. We've got Real Pearl. She says, hello, La Machine and Karen. Great to be here. Eat it. One of the longtime hustlers. And of course, FOABP 132. One day you're going to tell me what that means. Hello, everybody. Hope you all had an awesome Q1 selling on Amazon. Thanks, Horace and Karen, for the great content. We do this for you, and we love it. E pluribus unum. Hi, La Machine and Miss Karen, and hello to you too. So anybody who's watching right now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into another example. This one I'm really looking forward to sharing with you. But remember, we're gonna do a quick refresher, guys. We're going to do a quick refresher on the steps. And if anybody wants to add a step, or Karen, if I missed something out, if I left something out, help me out here. Give us a like. If you're here right now and you have not smashed that like button, we need you. Okay. All right. So, number one, pick a software that's going to do the heavy lifting for you and follow your rabbit trails. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. See, I like to show you around here. And the software I use to do the heavy lifting is tactical arbitrage, right? Make sure that you can make a profit. Part of that evaluation, all of this falls under evaluation, but a big thing is making sure you can make money on this. All right. Decide whether to go merchant fulfilled or FBA. There are advantages and disadvantages to both. Determine whether or not you can sell the product. You may be gated. Check any restrictions. It might be hazmat. There may be IP complaints out there. Then do your further analysis. Read this. Read this, Karen. You're looking at the product rank. You're looking at the star rating. That's not a big one for me, but for some people, they want to make sure this is a product that gets good reviews. How many sellers are on there, including Amazon? Look at the ratio of sellers who are doing FBA versus merchant fulfill. Look at that buy box. Is there a buy box, or is the buy box suppressed? I talk about that a lot, hustlers. And I don't particularly care for buy boxes. I really don't. And I know some people like the buy box because then they can try to control it. Whatever the reason is, I don't care for it myself. But I don't run from it either. Check the competition stock. Review your graphs. I like to use the Keeper graph, and then of course using tactical arbitrage, they have their own graph, but you want to try and get a picture historically, right? If you know your past, you can almost predict. Almost predict. Ain't no guarantees now. Don't stop me the line. All right. Then you want to decide how many to purchase. We suggest, unless you have experience, we suggest you go wide and not deep. And then, of course, you want to wash, rinse, and repeat. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here we are back in tactical arbitrage. This is what I was looking at, okay? I was looking at, wait a minute, no. I want to show you another product. Well, you know what? I'll go on and show this one since we're on it. So what was I looking at in the software? I was looking at where we're going to buy it from, which is Walgreens. I was looking at the sales rank, 55,000. Average is even lower at like 34,000. This is about what I'm going to pay. That does not include the tax. Okay. Adjusted price, I ain't really worried about that. I'll show you how you might save a little bit if you want. And if you do enough shopping or sourcing, I should say, on Walgreens, you're going to end up with cash back right through that site. I do it all the time. And it should be buy boxing right around $40. We'll see. Average 36. Estimated monthly sales 30. Gross profit should be around $12. We'll see about that, with a gross return on investment at 62%. I'm looking at my images. Remember, guys, you can move these columns around however you want. I could scroll over, and I already see 4 people on the listing. So, like, if I had only seen 1 or even 2, I don't know about that. All right. So let's see what it looks like when we go out there. So here's the product at Walgreens, right? Got a picture of it. It's a whole kit. Now, again, if you wanted to use something to figure out, hey, an extra 4%, well, that'd be nice. I like this site, Be Frugal. In my extensions, I would click on Be Frugal. I don't see it working. Let's see. Oh, they got something they want you to do for that, and then I I probably would need to log in. Let me see if my hold on. Let me see what else is out there. Rakuten is giving 2%. Here's the deal: 2% doesn't sound like a lot, but all you're doing is clicking, right? All you're doing is just it's just a simple click. Why not get that money? You know what I mean? For for not really doing anything. Are you're getting cash back, right, Karen?
Yes, of course. Absolutely. I knew you were. I didn't even think you were talking to me. Of course.
uh why? Because you're not gonna leave free money on the table.
If at all possible, I will not leave money on the table. No.
All right. Let me see. Now, when I come over to Amazon, let's see what we're gonna do here. The first thing I usually do, I look and see how many people are selling. With 9 people selling, I'm usually pretty confident. But you do you have guys you have to understand. With this many people selling, this is probably okay. But this one touch brand, it could be a brand that might come up on an IP alert. Sometimes you have what we call rogue listings. I doubt it with what I'm looking at right here, but you just never know. Now, I have personally sold this brand, so I wouldn't run from it, but do be careful. And I mean, everything that's good about this would also give you pause as well. Look at that keeper chart. When you see that kind of velocity on that green line, you know this product is doing it. All right. But here,
Mm-hmm.
let's do it by the numbers. We got our software, right? How do we how do we make sure that we can make a profit? Well, we're going to take it. We're going to take that ASIN. We're going to come over to whatever software you're using. Now, remember, you could be using the free revenue calculator that you get from Amazon. I just personally like to use this one. If I'm going to pay $29.99, let's see. I don't know if I had that in there. Right. Hold on. This one ain't much money in this one anyway. But wait, let me double check that. Yeah, we don't have much in this one, but we'll keep going anyway, just because we're here. So we may as well go through the process. Then you would decide whether you want a merchant fulfill or FBA. So FBA looks like we only doing like $1.25. We don't want to spend that kind of money. Only and you know what? I know about how much that weighs. You might even lose money on that. So this is one of the things that would tell you, we may not want to sell it. But the next thing you want to look at is, first of all, are you even allowed to sell the product? One good thing about the software tactical arbitrage, they do have a little whoops, hold on, I gotta sign in. Give me a second, hustlers. The feature won't work unless you're actually signed in to your Seller Central account, and mine timed out on me.
Yeah. You know, while you're looking for that, one of the other things that I was thinking about um, when I look at the other sellers, particularly on something like the One Touch, I like to try to look at, well, who are the other sellers? Does it sound like they are, um, you know, the kind a similar kind of seller, or are they a big operation?
Mm,
Because if they're a big operation, if they all sound like they're some kind of drugstore, then it could be that they are licensed sellers. Um, so
correct.
I'm looking for some listings that say mom and pop shop, or at least give me that mom and pop shop vibe
Mm-hmm.
when I'm evaluating if I think there's any possibility or any likelihood of possible problems with the coming from the brand.
Okay. Let's see here. I might have lost my. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of digging here.
Okay.
That happens from
Yeah.
time to time.
So E pluribus unum dropped $100 in the chat. Can we take that to the bank, or what happens with that? I don't
Oh, he did he?
you know, I'm always watching the money, so I saw a dollar sign. So you got my attention, my friend. So
Let me see. So that is called a super chat, and of course, we want to thank you, E pluribus unum. Now, typically in the live stream culture, super chats go right to the top. So if there's anything you needed help with, if you had any questions, we are here for you. Uh, and you probably, I think it's safe to assume, you probably have my number, right?
that's pretty
But there
awesome.
it is. Take that number down and you make sure you give us a call if you need help with anything. But we definitely want to extend a hearty thank you to you. That is so generous of you. We cannot thank you enough. It is so wonderful to be acknowledged. Wow. I'm actually
Yeah, it's
the
really
more I'm
nice of you.
processing this, the more I'm speechless.
Well, don't get speechless now. We got about 20
Okay.
more minutes.
Oh God. All right. Oh yeah. So we were trying to determine, can we sell the product? And in the software tactical arbitrage, if you click on that check restrictions, it will let you know some things. Now it says I can sell the product, although it is a dangerous good. So that's something that you would need to consider with this. Okay.
Oh, it's hazmat.
Now it says you can still sell it through FBA, but you probably have to be, you got to go through a course or something they used to have. Do they still
It,
have
it's
that?
it's pretty easy, quite honestly. And as you talk about degrees of separation, a lot of people shy away from hazmat. Not everybody will do it, and so um, it's worth checking out because you just answer some questions and then they authorize you. But a lot of people just say, "Oh, it's hazmat,"
And
and
then they don't want to deal with it.
then they don't want to deal with it. But it's really easy. I do quite a bit of, I sell quite a few hazmat items.
Mm-hmm.
So doesn't worry me not one bit.
All right. So we got through determining if we could sell the product. We talked a little bit about hazmat. We talked a little bit about IP complaints. If you did the further analysis, what are we looking at? We're looking at the product rank, and obviously that's looking good. 41,000 in health and household is pretty good. The star rating is good. Uh, let's see. The number of sellers, I think we said about 9. So if we open that up, and if we go Prime, I guess we're seeing two people, right? So then that means the other seven would be merchant fulfilled. Uh, if we look at them all, now we're looking at the stock. So this guy who's in the buy box has one. This guy has 15, then 29. I don't know. With a name like Maya Gift, that's probably not a pharmacy. Uh,
Right. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. And also
right.
when you see, that they have one or two, that's
Yep.
probably not your, you know, local
Exactly.
pharmacy. Sure.
In this case, I probably wouldn't advise to buy that product, but if I would, I wouldn't go deep anyway. No more than myself, anywhere between 3 to 5 is what I would go with. All right. So as always, we have more, but before we do that, let's kick it back to the hustlers. Looks like Tony Esposito came out. He says, "Thank you as well for the insight, Horace and Karen. We thank you. You're spending a Saturday with us. You
Yeah.
got to be serious about this." I
Yeah.
think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's touch a little bit more on that question we had about is it a good time? Is it still a good deal to sell on Amazon? You know, nothing has changed in terms of Amazon being a powerhouse. I mean, an absolute juggernaut
Mm-hmm.
in terms of an online marketplace. And no matter what happens, they're going to be here for a while. You being able to hook up with them, because basically you're latching on to their train, and you're getting in front of hundreds of millions of people beyond what you could pay for if you had the budget. I don't care how much money you got, you could not pay to get in front of the amount of people you get in front of for basically $40 a month. Okay. Uh, Amazon is a household name. People look at other sites so that they can decide what to buy on Amazon. And the pandemic, that just made that further entrenched people with online shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon makes it easy. I've mentioned right here with the working class hustlers, I feel personally through my experience, Amazon is much more I don't want to use the term lenient, but I feel like they they really want us to succeed. There was a time where it just felt like everything you did was wrong. Every time you turn around, they were on a mission to kick you off the platform. I just don't feel those vibes anymore. I think they're very reasonable. When I need them, when I call, I don't wait. I may not like who I talk to, but I don't wait. That's huge, you
Yeah.
know. Uh, so
Yeah.
yeah, I do encourage anybody that wants to get into this space to get it. Some of y'all had been hearing about cryptocurrency, right? What you hear now? Some of y'all were hearing about what was it called? NFTs or something? Do you know what that is? You heard about that, did you?
I heard
NFT.
about it. I heard
It
about
it was some. What was the basic concept? You bought an image or something, and then you could
Oh my
sell.
gosh.
Is
I,
that am I right?
you know what? I can't tell you. I look. All I know is a cash check and
No,
credit.
no,
That's
no. There
all
was
I
something
know.
going on.
Yeah,
Hold on a
I
second.
don't know. I don't know about that. But you know what? One thing I will say about it, whether or not it's still worth it to get into Amazon. I guess one reasonably valid argument I hear is that the cost, particularly when you're doing the arbitrage method, is that since you mentioned the pandemic, prices, retail prices have really skyrocketed, and Amazon pricing has not necessarily kept the pace with what you would find in your local grocery store or um, brick and mortar stores. I mean, um, you can't sell, or you wouldn't sell eggs on Amazon, but everybody's talking about how crazy expensive eggs are. Before the pandemic, eggs were 99 cents. I've seen eggs for $6.50 for a dozen. So that certainly does make it more challenging in some ways because
Mhm.
it's hard. And many folks who are utilizing the arbitrage methodology, the RA methodology used to depend on, say, Walmart. You could go into Walmart and go into the clearance section and find a plethora of items that you could then sell on Amazon. Not so much is what I'm hearing now. It's harder to find those things. So, however, there's just, especially when you use something like tactical arbitrage, which gives you access to over 600 retailers, their deals abound. And if you are the kind of person who enjoys the hunt, now if you hate the hunt,
Mhm.
then maybe not. But if you enjoy the hunt, it's a great time. It's still great out there. There's lots of deals to be had.
Absolutely. But I'm not letting you get away from this. So no,
Are you
no.
still talking about NFTs or something?
Yeah. I looked it up. Okay. It is a non-fungible token. Unique cryptographic tokens that exist on a blockchain and cannot be replicated. NFTs can represent digital or real world items, blah blah blah. When I said NFT, is this what came to mind with
That
you?
is that is that is what an NFT is, a non-fungible token.
Now, now, they were all the rage, weren't they?
So they say.
Not no more. So this is what I'm trying to the point I'm trying to get across to the working class hustlers is okay. A lot of people are always looking for the next hot thing, and I'm telling you, when it comes to retail just is what it is, right? It's not about the next hot thing. And if it is, if you like the latest, most popular, I would still say doing that on Amazon is better than chasing cryptocurrency. Okay. So there's that.
I can't say I didn't chase any of it. I didn't chase any of it, truthfully.
Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do, we've got one more product I'm going to share with you. And I want you guys to pay attention. For those who hang around, we're going to do a quick segment because I always want to teach a little bit on tactical arbitrage, the software. We're going to do a segment called Tactical Edge, and that allows you to go a little deeper. There's a surprise. There's a treat in there for you for those who hang around. But
Okay, Tony's got a question,
okay,
and you can we can do it now or we can do it a little later. But it's a good question, and this keeps sort of coming up. So I'm gonna let you address it, Horace.
okay. Tony says, would either one of you recommend pursuing wholesale distributors? Okay, so I do some wholesale, but you have to understand how I got to wholesale because I was doing arbitrage and then I kept niching down, down, down. I, I, I found a particular niche that I liked. It was grocery and gourmet, and then I niched that down to snack food. So it was, you know, cakes, cookies, candy. Then I niched that down and I prefer to sell potato chips. Once I got that niche with it, it was only a matter of time before I started bumping into, you know, uh, guys that were stocking shelves so that I could actually get in with Frito Lay and, these brands. But it wasn't like I said, hey, I'm going to get into wholesale. So let me reach out to some wholesale distributors. Let me get their price list. Let me find a software where I can run this. And no, it was face to face for me. And by that point, I was already niched down and doing a good bit. I mean, okay, well, you got to put it into perspective. By the time I really started getting into wholesale as it pertains to snack foods, I was going to Family Dollar, going straight to the back. You would have thought I worked there. I was grabbing a two-wheel dolly and taking stuff out. I was on that level with regular stores doing arbitrage. And you can get to that level too. One of the ollies, I had one of the manager's phone number. Okay. When I got to that level, it was it was only a matter of time. But I earned that space. I didn't just decide, well, let me get into wholesale and let me see how that works. I was already doing enough volume. Probably at that point, I was probably doing like 20,000 a month in gross revenues, not what I keep, but in gross. And so I was literally bumping into people stocking shelves, and then I was comfortable enough to say, hey, what would it take to get an account? Oh, they give me a number. Or there were some brands I never ran into anybody, but I was doing so much. I said, okay, let me call this brand. It's one thing to say, hey, I want to get into wholesale. So then you find a wholesale distributor, and that distributor has easily hundreds of brands. No, I was going right to the manufacturer. You know what I mean? That which is wholesale, but it's a different relationship. So would I recommend it? I would say this. For me, to take it from my perspective, once you've niched your way down into a particular category and you got the experience with a particular brand, and then you're ready because now you've proven I'm gonna make the money regardless. But if I can get that wholesale account, if I can get direct, it's gonna make a difference because now I can get the volume and I got a proven model at that point. So I don't know if that answered the
I
question.
think it did answer the question. Um, I think wholesale is great, particularly for replenishables. I think though getting in is a challenge. And when I talk about retail arbitrage, I said if you like searching for deals, then yeah, it's a great model for you. If you don't like the search, then it might not work well for you. And with wholesalers, I'd say if you're not going to utilize the methodology that La Machine has, then you might need to be a person who's quite comfortable with hearing no. Like 50 wholesalers and 49 say no. So
Yeah,
if you can take that, and I can't, but if you can, then absolutely. What
yeah.
better way to have replenishables than to have a direct relationship? And there's nothing that says in all of this that you have to do one or the other. You can have a part of your business be wholesale, a part retail arbitrage, a part online arbitrage.
I
Um,
do them all.
sure,
Uh,
do
I
it if
just
you can
sent
do it.
in just yesterday. I sent in an FBA shipment, and then another thing, Tony. You know, you're going to be more apt to want to get into direct or wholesale if you already have your reseller certificate, if you've got your LLC. But I will tell you this: when you go looking for wholesalers, oftentimes that is what they want. when you reach out directly to the manufacturer, that's not always what they want. You'd be surprised with some of these people. As long as you got the money, now you might end up with some weird stuff. I can tell you in the snack food industry, pretty much everything is cash. Here we are in 2023, and you dealing with bread. I mean, you might find that weird. but the snack food industry is weird to me anyway. I like it, maybe because I'm weird. But uh, we got another question.
Yeah.
Have either of you ever accepted an Amazon loan? If
They
so,
offer you them every day.
yeah. I have not, but I've taken other loans, and then I would advise you to stay away unless you're on a level where it makes sense. I mean, any company that's looking to expand might incur debt, but it's got to be smart debt. Um, you better really know what you're doing, and it's very possible to know what you're doing. If you gave me some money now, if I took on a loan now, I would know what to do with it. But I've been selling out here for a good bit. I know what I can, how I could flip that. You know what I mean? Uh, I would I would really be interested in why you would consider it. So if you want to share that with me,
Yeah. I think if you have a really solid business plan, I mean, I don't think just
give me
taking
a
out an
text
Amazon
me or
loan
call me. There's the number
for
on the screen.
inventory is necessarily a good idea. But if you have a very solid business plan that you're trying to fund, maybe. But then again, if you're going to take a loan, I don't know if I take it from Amazon. Personally, uh, probably not. That's just too much in Amazon's hands. I don't. That's just too much for me.
Hmm. Let's look at that last. Let's see.
Oh yeah, one more.
Yeah, let's look at that last item I wanted to share with the hustlers. So we're going back to the software which I use, which is tactical arbitrage. And I saw something at Dollar General. The rank was good, the 90 was good, price was good, buy boxing pretty good. I was supposed to be able to sell, well, 38 of them are selling a month. Gross profit $16.61, 707% return on investment. Oh, that just sounds great. Now, Karen, I want you to pay attention here. I really want to see how you react.
Okay, what is this?
We about to find out.
Okay.
Now, so here's the product.
Oh, Zarbies. All right.
So you know them.
Yes, I do.
Okay. It is a children's cough syrup, blah, 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 blah. It's
Hmm.
the grape flavor. It's the 4 ounce. It's a pack of one. It's
Hmm.
currently unavailable. That's, for me, a lot of times that's a good sign when I see that currently unavailable.
Right.
And if I come down and see a graph like this, that's good. But here's the funny part, I'm seeing a lot of velocity. I don't see any sellers in the last 3 months. So why didn't it flatten out? Well, let's just go for the year. And it appears, see, the triangles are FBA sellers, the squares are merchant fulfilled, and you could click on those to see who those people are. You could open that up and get all into their things. But according to this keeper graph, we haven't had anybody in stock since November.
Ooh.
I wonder why you got that much velocity. What's causing this to move like this? And
Oh, go
I don't
ahead.
know.
I was gonna
Well,
say, are there other listings like
I,
maybe two packs or variations or?
there may be. I thought about that. Uh, I see almost 5 out of 5 Let me look at something here.
Okay, who's about to go source some Zarbies?
Look at this. Look at this. I clicked on customer questions and answers. Look at this. Somebody said Amazon keeps sending me expired product. This is the 10th time I am purchasing. So, you want to tell me that they kept sending you expired products, but you kept buying 10 times? Is that an indication of how popular this product is? That you would keep buying expired products? I mean,
That you didn't say, just give me a refund and be done.
and look at the date on this. I don't know if that keeper chart is quite right. This is the 28th of this year, right? I mean, this is, but when I was looking at the software in tactical arbitrage, it was supposed to be at Dollar General. I clicked on the link, and you know what it said?
Nope, out of stock.
But then, remember, the first thing I said, the first step is to pick a software to do the heavy lifting and follow your rabbit trails. Now, the lovely Miss Karen, please tell us what we're talking about when we say follow your rabbit trails.
Well, following rabbit trail means you start searching for one thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and then maybe you don't find that, but you find something similar or a variation of it, and then you check that, and then you
Or
continue.
correct. Or you might say, okay, the software said it's at Dollar General. It ain't at Dollar General, but it might be somewhere else,
Somewhere
right?
else, search someplace else, sure.
So all I'll do is come to the image on Amazon, right click it, come down to search image with Google. A window will open up, and then I'll just start scrolling through to see if I can find that product someplace else. And that is how I found it here at Walgreens. Ta-da!
Nice. At
And it,
$11.99. I don't know.
yeah. Now it looks like I should be able to get it shipped. Yes. I don't know if I'm gonna go for it or not, but you guys, if you want it, hey, there you have it. Uh
Nice.
Now, what did I do? I took it over to Scout to see if I could make any money. Now, I don't know. I guess we better check those expiration dates if we source this product.
Wow, is the list price $25.99 for a bottle of children's cough syrup?
Well, I'm about to throw this at you. I'm about to throw this at you.
My kids would
Now,
be just getting some honey and lemon.
I came down. It looks like the highest price that it was. Um, I guess the average is 23.70 over the last 180 days. But I put that price in there based on the fact that nobody else has it. And when you come over and see what some of these merchant fulfills were selling it at, and even if you come over here, I think we'd have some room to play with. If you put it out there for $25.99, I think you could sell it. And you still have some room to play with, because even you're doing 50% return on investment right then and there. And even though I wouldn't pay tax on this because I'm in Pennsylvania, but it's going to cost me something to get it into the warehouse. Or if I decided to go merchant fulfilled, I'd probably make even more money, because it's only what? It ain't even 6 ounces, probably with all the packing material or whatever, you know? So you could go either way with that. But yeah, you're
It's
going
a
to come
great
across.
time to sell on Amazon. Anytime people are spending nearly $30 for a bottle of
Cough syrup.
Children's cough syrup. There you go. There's the answer right there.
But just remember, guys, this requires mental effort. People don't want to think. They want everything to be easy. Look, we're not done evaluating this. This is the work that goes into this. Most of the work is mental.
Yeah.
And most people don't want to think. There's your degree of separation right there, hustlers. Most of this is mental. Most people don't want to think. I'm going to need you to pay attention. And I'm going to need you to consider those words. Why do we call it paying attention? Because your mental energy is the most valuable commodity you have. That is the greatest act that you have as a human being, your ability to think. And that's the thing that most humans don't want to do. Y'all don't hit me.
All right, nobody has to go anywhere on Sunday now. We already had our sermon. We good.
Let me take a quick. This ain't gonna take long, hustlers. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, you may be watching the replay. You made it this far. Let me show you something. I want to show you a quick feature inside the software, Tactical Arbitrage, and what it's called. It's under analysis, and this is going to help you to further analyze a particular product. So let's say we wanted to analyze that cough syrup. We'll take the ASIN, right? We'll come back over. We'll put the ASIN in here, right? Now, it's not going to have much to you know what? Let's pick another one because it's not going to have much because there's no one else on it right now. Let's take this one. And we're going to pay $8.29. This isn't going to be the best example, hustlers, but it's something to show you. $8.29. And then when you go fetch the information, you got to be a little patient. It's going to load. This is not a keeper graph. This is Tactical Arbitrage's history chart, and it works fine. But right away, it starts putting things in front of you. Estimated monthly sales. It's the bottom half that takes longer to load. But right away, you can see the brand, you can see the category, you got all types of stuff in front of you. But you do have to be patient because it takes a bit.
I see merchant fulfilled in Amazon, FBA, sellers.
Okay. So this is what we were waiting on. All right. This lists all the people, and right away you can see it's 23 people. It doesn't arrange them. So here you can see that AMZ, that means Amazon is on the listing, and then merchant fulfilled. Then there's an FBA guy. And what you can look at is actually it gives you a breakdown on if you want to compare yourself to a particular seller. Now, remember, we put in a buy price of $8.29, and it's going to reflect we're going to lose money if we try to get in here. You see what I'm saying? Because this guy is only selling it, for Amazon's only selling it for $6.99. So you can start looking. You want your profit to get up. You start coming down to the profit that you would be willing to take. And then you see, okay, I've got to sell it for like 17. This is merchant fulfilled. But you could, that gives you a little bit more information. But here's the treat for you guys. So pay attention. What if, let's see, this is the total ratings. Let's say you looked at this particular guy and you said, why don't we see all of his products? Why don't we reverse search his product?
Oh.
Let's look at all of his stuff. You could click on that, and then it will say search the seller in reverse. And then it sets up a reverse search and it puts the seller ID in there. See, normally if you we got other videos on how to do a reverse search, and we're usually looking under bestsellers, most wished, movers and shakers. But this set up a reverse search. So you can set up a reverse search right in reverse search, but this auto filled with that seller's ID. And then you could go ahead with all of your other filters. If you want to know how to do that, we've got plenty of videos that'll show you how to do all that. But now you got a reverse search already set up. Hustlers, what is the advantage of a reverse search? Now you're going through someone else's store and basically cherry picking. And a lot of times they have proven products that you never would have found for whatever reason. Now, I'm not saying go through somebody's store and just try and take over, but I will tell you this. You stay on Amazon for any length of time, somebody's going to
People
do
are
it to
going to
you.
do it to you. They will. They will. I mean, over time, you start to see some of the same people on listings with you, and you do begin to wonder: am I chasing them or are they chasing me? What's happening? But
The part I don't mind you jumping on my listings. The part I hate is when you say, I don't want to do the work. So I'm gonna watch, let you do the work. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you found a good one. I'm gonna get on that. And now, after you did all the work and you proved that it's a reprint, I don't want you to get none of the product for all your work. So I'm gonna lower the price
I'm going to tank the price
so that you
and
did
pull
all the
your
work
profit.
and I get all the profit. And I'm gonna keep going, and because of you, if I can't make no money after I stole the product, nobody gonna make the money. So now I'm just gonna tank it for both of us.
Oh,
Thank
tales of Amazon. Amazon tales.
E pluribus unum said, preach.
Oh, don't encourage him, please. Please, E. Don't encourage him.
Because I've been and went off up in here. All right, hustlers. We
Yeah,
went
we're
over
over
a
time.
little bit, which is common. We do this because we love
Yeah, it's
it.
so much fun.
It is. Let's make sure we had no more comments, guys. If there's anybody that had anything, he's laughing. If anybody had any last words, let me know. I don't think so. All right, guys, we're gonna call it a night, and we will see you. I don't know, probably next week. We'll have to see. But let me say one more thing before we go. If there's anybody that might be interested in a little bit of coaching, the two of us, myself and the lovely Miss Karen, we coach. So imagine that you want some coaching and you get not one coach, but two, because you would get the both of us. We're not currently available. So that's all the more reason to start your free consultation with us now, and we could get you into the SKU, because when one comes open, it's gone. So if you're thinking about it, it costs you nothing. Give us a call. We'll give you a little bit of our time, listen to your story, and figure out if it would be beneficial. And if we could help you, we would be very excited to do that. And as always, you could always text the words working class hustler to my number just to get connected so that you can be told things like we're going live today, or we got a private Zoom that we're going to do, or whatever it may be. Sometimes people just want to ask a quick question. I'm here for that. So other than that, I don't see. Oh, E Pluribus says, have an awesome weekend. I see my producer, Jim. He thanks everybody. Happy 2020 says, thank you for your time. Have a great evening. Yes, yes, yes. All right, guys. Well, as always, for the lovely Miss Karen, I am La Machine saying good night And why? Because we are here to respect your mind, your time, and most definitely your grind. We done showed you how to get this paper. It's time for me to go get mine. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good night.
everybody. Thanks for being here.